distinguished guests, sponsors, CEW members, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. In my second year as President of Chief Executive Women, I am delighted to welcome you to our 2018 annual dinner. Each year, the generous contribution from 42 corporate, government and other sector sponsors and our partners underwrites CEW's scholarships and programs and delivers internationally recognised research, enabling the members of CEW to get on with our mission, enabling women leaders. We are grateful for your ongoing financial support and encouraged by your commitment to gender equality in Australia. I would like to take this opportunity to thank our partners, our principal business partner, the ANZ, our research partner, Bain & Company, and our premises partner, CBRE, along with those other partners who support us across our activities, with Spencer Stewart, who support us with membership and research, Deloitte, our accountants, EY, our auditors, Kingwood and Mallisons, our lawyers, the Boston Consulting Group, who have helped us with our Chairman's Program, Goldman Sachs, who are the founding supporter for our Connect program, and PwC, who are the facilitator for our Connect program. CEW now has over 500 members, and our membership continues to expand as more women take on senior leadership roles and act as role models and as supporters to others. Since 1985, our members have supported each other, been active in their advocacy, and designed and delivered practical programs that enable women, more women, each year to become leaders, in line with our mission of women leaders enabling women leaders. In keeping with CEW tradition, I would like to invite all CEW members to stand. The support of CEW members to each other was never more important than this past year. When we watched gender emerge as a major issue in the 2016 US presidential election and ricochet around the world, we knew that it was almost inevitable that there would be ramifications here, and there have been. Even today, we see the discussions about women leaders in Parliament and the type of behaviour that they are subject to. In our case, CEW's very mission, the push for greater gender equality in leadership roles, has been challenged. Much of the so-called commentary in the gender wars earlier this year was harsh, unfair and sensationalist. Much of that focus was on women on boards. Tonight, I would like to acknowledge the leadership of the Australian Institute of Company Directors under their chairman Elizabeth Proust, and the 30% Club under the baton of Tricia Cross, which has now passed to Nicola Wakefield Evans, who spoke out so powerfully on the capability of the women serving and being appointed to boards and the benefits of greater diversity around board tables. Let's thank them. But of course, it wasn't just women on boards who were deeply affected by the gender wars, given the tenor of the criticism felt like deep-seated resentment around women in leadership positions more generally. I'm glad to say that at CEW we had been preparing for that challenge. We could see it coming. With our good friends, the Male Champions of Change, we commenced a project on how to deal with backlash in organisations that were looking to increase gender equity, because we know that backlash is almost inevitable with any change effort. It turned out that the timing of our work could not have been more serendipitous. It was a 12-month project and actually was coming together at the end, just as those gender wars broke out. I would like to thank all the women and men in this room tonight who are willing to be advocates and to speak out on the value of greater gender balance, whether in the boardroom or within our organisations and our community more broadly. I would particularly like to acknowledge all CEW members and the male champions of change. Every single one of them has played a role. Please join me in thanking them all. At CEW, we have been particularly concerned about how younger women would respond to the gender wars, as it was very soon after they emerged that we began to hear younger women saying, "Why would I bother?" So working with our partner, PwC, we convened a National Connect event for the alumni of our scholarships program, some of whom you saw on the video earlier, and our Leaders program, which is the own talent development program that we lead within CEW. And we did that on the topic of thriving in the current environment, making the most of now, to encourage younger women to accept the challenges, to step up and to navigate today's environment with confidence, and letting them know that they have the support of many good people. I'd like to thank PwC The Difference for their leadership in that work, but I'd also like to especially thank two people here tonight who have played such an important role. First of all, Diane Smith-Gander, our immediate past president and ambassador to the Connect program, as well as Kevin McCann, a male champion of change, who both participated in the Connect event and acted as a guiding light to our younger women, and continues to be an extraordinary advocate for women, very visibly so during the gender wars. With the passing of time, I think we can be confident that we have weathered the worst of the storm, and organisations and their leaders are forging ahead. In one memorable meeting I had with an influential proxy advisor, the comment was made that they are seeing companies being galvanised by the public commentary, and that companies who are committed to gender equity are doubling down in their efforts. They, of course, were very supportive because, as we know, organisations that do have greater gender diversity and greater equality generally are higher performing organisations. To me, one of the outstanding and perhaps astounding examples of that is the big Australian BHP, an industrial company, very blokey environment, which has committed to achieving 50-50 gender balance across their organisation by 2025. And they are clear about why they are doing it. In those sites and in those businesses where there is greater diversity, they have seen better safety results, better operational performance, and greater employee engagement. What isn't there to like about that? And across corporate Australia, we continue to see progress, although we have a long way to go, as Nicole mentioned earlier. Just earlier this week, we released our second census of the ASX 200 senior executive teams, with the brilliant support of Bain & Company and Spencer Stuart. Highlights of the census show that in the last 12 months, the percentage of executive leadership team roles held by women has increased from 21% to 23%. The number of female CEOs has increased from 5% to 7%. We really do have a long way to go. And the number of CFOs has increased from 9% to 12%. And perhaps just as importantly, the number of companies with no women in their executive leadership teams has dropped from 21% to 12% in 1 year. In our own midst, we have outstanding members who have been appointed to CEO roles. Shamara Wickramanayake, I'm sorry, I practiced that. But we're all going to get very good at saying it. Thank you, Shamara. as well as Jane Herdlicker at A2, Jean Johns at Incitec Pivot, and Elizabeth Gaines at Fortescue, to name just a few. So we are making progress. Based on all the research we have done with BAME over the last decade, we know that to bring about greater gender equality, the key is leadership. I encourage all of us, men and women, to forge ahead with courage, knowing there is a great deal of support around us. I also salute all leaders here tonight who are making a difference. Thank you. And tonight we will be hearing from a truly outstanding leader and a great role model. Anne Sherry has been one of the great trailblazers for women in Australia. We have all watched her with admiration, and I know you will love hearing about her story a little later. Thank you for all joining us tonight. Have a great evening. Thank you.